All right, so now Alice, we're standing next to a prized object in the collection, and one that I understand has a very important symbolic meaning for the story of this museum. Can you tell us a little about this?
Yes, it actually is one of the best known bronzes in the world, I think, because it's very unusual. For one thing, it's clear that it's a rhino. It's easily distinguished, whereas in most bronzes, when they use animals as part of the vessel, it's usually part of an animal, like a foot or another part of the animal. And the idea then is not to portray it realistically, but to suggest the power of animals. So that makes sense. The bronze is made out of copper, tin, and a little bit of lead. And the oxidation that you see is responsible for this green color. It's the oxidation of the copper, which makes it. This particular piece was used as the design for the museum for a long, long time. It's only really recently that they've changed that design. But it was actually in the family of Confucius for many years. So that's always been a subject of interest. And for a long time, it was thought that it was a pouring vessel that you would pour for liquids. But since then, the experts have decided that it wasn't, that it was used for cooking purposes, and they would remove the contents through ladles, sort of like soup instead, So that's one of the differences about this particular piece. It is one of the most important objects in our collection. It's the oldest dated Chinese Buddha in China. So it's 338 AD, and it's been written about extensively in various publications all around the world. It's in very good condition, as you can see. It has the typical features of a Buddha, this bump on the top of the head called the Ushnisha, which represents the amount of brain power and knowledge he has. And then usually between the eyebrow, there's a little dot which suggests hair, which is the way in which Buddha beams his knowledge to us. And his earlobes are always long, because in this particular lifetime, he was born the son of a king. And so he was a prince. And as a prince in the Orient, he wore heavy jeweled earrings. So when he decided to leave the palace grounds and try to go out and find out the meaning of the world and why men were suffering and so on, he removed his jeweled earrings. But they would have left his earlobes stretched. So you'll always see those long earlobes on a Buddhist figure. And then his hands are usually shown in particular positions. They're called mudra, and they have particular meaning, like I'm in meditation, or whatever the thing is that he wants to discuss at that particular time. And the garments are always very simple. And in the front, we see a piece that has 3 holes, in which were attached originally some description of him, and his role in life and so on. He's painted in gilt, which is very common to suggest, gold, as you see like here. So Buddhism has existed in many countries for a long time, and I think partly because it's very flexible. Certain religions have very set rules. You must do this, you must do that a certain way, and if you don't, you're an outcast as far as other religions are concerned. But Buddhism is very open.